Okay.
ఇది ఒక్కటే manage this one.
Okay, give me 2 minutes, Swapna Garu. I'm just going to send the link.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll try from my laptop also. Sorry.
Okay, Andy, sure. కనిపిస్తుందా అండి?
కనిపిస్తుంది.
So I'm going to present.
Yeah. Now it's yeah.
Okay. So మీరు నెక్స్ట్ స్లైడ్ అన్నప్పుడల్లా I can change it.
Sure. Okay. సో ఇప్పుడు నా కేస్ కనిపించడానికి మీరు స్పీకర్ నన్ను స్పాట్లైట్ చేసి మీరు స్పీకర్ వ్యూ పెడితే వస్తుందేమో చూద్దామా?
యా, నేను మీకు పిన్ చేసి
స్పాట్లైట్ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీబడి అని పెట్టండి ఒకసారి.
I don't know why it's not coming. Present mode లో రాదేమో అండి.
ఓకే. సో ప్రెజెంటర్ వస్తుందా? ఓకే.
యా, అంటే మిమ్మల్ని పిన్ చేసినాను.
కానీ నాకు కనిపించట్లేదు.
Yeah, so maybe first I stop sharing. I may not able to spotlight you. I think for now, let's go with that, Andy. I am not really sure.
నాకు ఇక్కడ వస్తే నేను ప్రెజెంట్ చేసేస్తాను. జస్ట్ ఫోన్ లో అంత సరిగా రాకపోవచ్చు కదా. అదే
మీరు బాగా కనిపిస్తున్నారు కనిపించడానికి. When we do the
let us say whatever I shared with you.
ప్రెజెంట్ మోడ్ కి వెళ్ళండి.
నా ఫేస్ కనిపిస్తుందా? లేదు కదా.
లేదండి, మీది కంప్లీట్లీ బ్లాంక్ అయిపోతుంది. whereas when I'm presenting we can still see you on the side.
ఓకే, గాట్ ఇట్. లేదు నేను ఒకసారి ల్యాప్టాప్ నుంచి చేస్తే బాగా వస్తుంది యాక్చువల్ గా. బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ పెట్టేసుకోవచ్చు కదా.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't want to put the content. I want to actually show a picture and talk about it.
So in the past, ఇంకొకసారి ఏమైందంటే we also మధ్య మధ్యలో we stopped sharing and we could just see you.
That's also something I was thinking.
Yeah,
ఒకసారి
so
స్టాప్ చేసేసి కాస్త మాట్లాడాక then we can continue.
Yeah, మీరు when you start the header, అది ఒక 1 minute మీరు దాని గురించి మాట్లాడిన వెంటనే నేను తీసేసి we can just see you.
అది బ్యాకప్ చేద్దాము. If
Yeah.
nothing, then
Yeah.
if nothing, then we can do that.
Yeah, sure. I need to go on mute for a few minutes, Andy.
Okay. Power వచ్చేసిందంట, so I think I should be able to do.
Sure, you can join back. Swapna garu,
నాకు షేర్ ఆప్షన్ ఇస్తారా? నాకు షేర్ ఆప్షన్ ఇస్తారా?
Yeah, మిమ్మల్ని actually మీరు ఒకసారి రీనేమ్ చేసుకుంటారా? Which one is
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I don't know which one is your desktop.
స్వప్న ఫోన్ పెట్టినా ఒకటి, ల్యాప్టాప్ ది రీనేమ్ సూర్య స్వప్న అన్నది రీనేమ్ చేస్తారా?
మీకు co-host ఇచ్చినానండి, చూడండి if it will let you share.
Yes, right. Great.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి యోషి గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి మహేష్ గారు.
So this is one way. నేను ఒక కార్నర్ లో వస్తా, మీకు ఎలా కనిపిస్తోంది?
బాగా కనిపిస్తోందండి. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి రావు గారు. ఒకసారి మీరు కూడా చూసి చెప్పరా రావు గారు? దిస్ ఇస్ గుడ్ కదండి.
యా జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి స్వప్న గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్. యా యా గుడ్ అండి. బాగానే వస్తుంది. ఈవెంట్ ఇస్ లైవ్ కదండి?
అవునండి, బేగం గారికి పంపించేసినాను.
యా ఈవెంట్ లైవ్ ఉన్నట్టుంది.
ఓకే, ఐ డిడ్ంట్ చెక్ ద వెబ్సైట్ బట్
బేగం గారు చెక్ చేయండి.
ఇంకా పెట్టలేదు అనుకుంటా అండి. ఇంకా రాలేదు రావు గారు ఆన్ టు ద వెబ్సైట్, కానీ బేగం గారు చూసినారు నా మెసేజ్, చెప్పినారు ఐ విల్ డూ ఇట్.
మంచిదండి. జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి అందరికి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి జివిష గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి అందరికి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి మీరా గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి అందరికి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి శ్రీన్ గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి గురువు గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అమ్మా. వినిపిస్తా ఉందమ్మా నా మాట?
ఎక్కువ ఉంది గురువు గారు.
ఇప్పుడమ్మా?
ఇప్పుడు బాగుంది. ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుంది.
అందరికీ జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురువు గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురుగారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురుగారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురువు గారు.
Jai Shri Ram Andi andarki. Sincere request to kindly come on video if possible.
Yeah. Is it clear, Jikisha?
మీది పవర్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్నట్టుంది కదండి. యా, ఫోన్ లో కనిపిస్తుంది.
Okay.
రావు గారు 10 o'clock అయింది.
నమస్తే గురుగారు. ఓపెనింగ్ ప్రైస్ తో స్టార్ట్ చేయొచ్చండి.
రావు గారు వినిపిస్తుందండి?
వినిపిస్తుంది గురుగారు, వినిపిస్తుంది.
అందరికీ జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి. ఓం ఆపదామపహర్తారం దాతారం తత్పతం పదాం లోకాభిరామం శ్రీరామం భూగో భూగో నమామ్యహం. మనోజవం మారుతతుల్య వేగం జితేంద్రియం బుద్ధిమతాం వరిష్టం పాతాత్మజం మానరయూతముఖ్యం శ్రీరామదూతం శిరసా నమామి. శ్రీ సీతా లక్ష్మణ హనుమా గరుడతమేత శ్రీరామనారాయణ స్వామినః ప్రార్థనాం సమర్పయామి. మంచిదండి, ప్లీజ్ గో హెడ్ అండి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురుగారు. Hearty welcome to each and everyone who are joining on this call today. And this event is also being telecasted on the website www.jaishriram.org. So today we are here as a part of the monthly Kalpavriksham event. And today, with the blessings of respected Guru Garu, we are all gathering here to learn and listen about this month's topic, parenting lessons from Ramayana. So today we have the auspicious presence of our Atidhi, Srimati Bhamdipati Surya Swapnagar, who is joining us from India. So Swapnagaru is blessed with the wonderful, unique talent of storytelling for all ages, which is not that easy as one can think. We all know that how to tell stories for children, for young people, but there are very few people who has that unique talent of storytelling, and we have one such wonderful person in front of us today. So Swapnagaru is the founder of Kathavani and one of the founder of Hyderabad Storytellers Association. And today's topic, parenting lessons from Ramayana, is a wonderful subject that one cannot miss. Because Swapnagaru gave a lot of choices of what topics can be discussed, but this topic has been blessed with Guru Garu's blessings because of there are two reasons. In US, we just now recently last week completed Mother's Day, and very soon in June we are all going to get the Father's Day. So we are in between the Mother's Day and Father's Day. So this is the right time, right topic, and we want to see what is that we can see the parenting tips from Ramayana. So storytelling kabatti, let us make sure that we all will not go into sleep, and let us kindly, heartily welcome Srimati Swapna Garu to provide us that information on behalf of all of one on this call. And we are welcoming Swapna Garu to take it over from here. Swapna Garu, please, it's all yours and the floor.
Jai Shri Ram ji. We have been raised on listening to lullabies and stories of Rama. So I'm starting from there. I believe there is a very strong reason that every infant, every child has started learning the stories of Rama or the values that Ramayana has for us. So Ramayana is very popular for family values, for how a husband has to be, for how a wife has to be. So today we will explore the parenting styles and thereupon try and the lessons of parenting, looking at the various styles. So since my mother tongue is Telugu, and I have the memory of this lullaby from my childhood that the elders used to sing. Rama bhajana cheyara, Ramude divamako, Kadiru kadaku paradola. It is a child that Sita is there. Rama is our father. And then it goes on to say who is the father, the grandmother, the uncles, the aunts, and so on. So it is very entertaining lullaby and also very lullaby. So I just want to have the context from there. So how we set up the ideals of Rama and Sita as the ideal father and mother for us from the beginning. So here we could start from the first slide. If you can present the first slide.
I think Jagisha Garu, we lost the connection kadandi.
ఉన్నారు అనుకుంటా అండి. ఉన్నారు.
Yes, I'm here.
కొంచెం బ్రేక్ అవుతుందండి స్వప్న గారు.
I am here. Yeah, unfortunately, there's been rain here, and just give me a second.
Yeah, appreciate everybody's patience, Andy. We are working on this technology of getting the good bandwidth.
Is it clear now?
Yeah, the audio is clear, Andy. Maybe what we can do is
a couple of minutes, I think it will get adjusted. Coincidence that last time we spoke and now we have the pocket and glitches. Usually it is fine. I will try and change the Wi-Fi connection. So let us begin with the parents or parents that we can see in Ramayana. So Ramayana is, whenever we have questions, parenting is one
Jagisha Garu, can you hear to the host, Andy?
లేదండి. Now we have completely lost the host. రెండు కనెక్షన్స్ లో లేరు.
I think we will get them rejoined.
Yes. Again, I think this is a stable network for me. This should be fine.
Okay, now you can continue.
I'm extremely sorry. This is not usually something that happens.
లేదా
So just like the topic, the topic is also full of ups and downs. Our internet is also working out. So parenting is one area where we have constant questions until, we probably have our children grow up and lead their own lives. And in fact, even after that, even after they grow up and become parents themselves, there is something that each parent has to learn. So then your role obviously also becomes a grandparent, and how not to interfere in your adult children's life and so on. So parenting is one huge Pandora box, if I can call it, with no offense. So how nice it would be to turn to our epic, especially Ramayana. So that is the reason why we are doing this today. So Ramayana has some of the parenting styles, some wonderful parenting styles. So we could begin with our first slide, Jigisha, please, if you can put the first slide. So though I'm calling it parenting lessons from Ramayana, let's look at the parenting styles to begin with. So I have chosen a few characters and some of their stories. Can you play the first slide, the next one, please? So let us begin with the very start of parenting. So in Ramayana, we see that there are supernatural births, and there is a very deep purpose of these. So these are all, I have just put two pictures. At least from this, we get about 6 births. So the first picture is the picture of when Ravan and his wife Mandodari had conceived. That is when Ravana, being a great scholar, he's the descendant of Brahma himself, and Ravana also being a very ambitious Rakshasa, as well as a great knowledgeable person himself. He studied the Vedas. He was very well versed with astrology, and he is a great warrior. Ravana goes all the way to the space, and he commands the planets to stand in a particular alignment. That is the timing that he gives for his son, the firstborn son, Meghnad, to be born. So I have put that picture first. So here we see that parents also have ambition when they are bringing a life into this world. I will touch more upon this in a bit. So this is one of the ways of explaining the birthing, or how it starts. The parenting starts from there. So the next picture right in this slide is the yagna, the Putra Kamishti yagna. So, in olden days, we used to have many yagnas. It could be Moksha Kamishti yagna, Putra Kamishti yagna, whichever you desire for, you ask for that from the sacrificial fire. Now, out of this sacrificial fire comes a man. It could be Agni, it could be a god, a messenger of Agni, who gives a porridge, the pies that we talk about, and he hands it over to Dashratha. Again, we see a very nice description in Valmiki Ramayana, where Dashratha actually gives half of it to Kaushalya, 1/4 of it to Sumitra, 1/8 of it to Kaikeyi, and the remaining 1/8, there is one portion left. He gives it back to Sumitra again. So we see that the half portion is the result of Rama being born. So it is exactly given in proportions as well. So there is a lot of meaning behind each of these. We will explore in a bit. One of the portions, of course, is picked up by a little bird, and the bird takes this and goes and drops it in the hands of Anjana, or Anjani Devi, the mother of Hanuman. So this is a little background on the supernatural births. So let me go to the details of the next. Can you please play the next slide? Okay, so as I said, I wanted to categorize the parenting styles. So let me spend a little time here. So with the first style of parenting that we see is Hanuman's mother, Anjana Devi. So Anjana's story itself is she's an Apsara. She's been cursed with a purpose that she will be giving birth to a divine child who will be a helper and who will be very functional in Rama's battle over Ravana. Now, for Hanuman to be such a person, there is a specific parenting that Anjana had to provide. So I will get to that in just a moment. The next category of the parenting styles are two people. So there is Vali and there is Ravana. Now, of course, Vali is not technically a Rakshasa, but the attributes that Vali had were very close. He was ever ready to fight. He was very ambitious. He always wanted to defeat somebody, put them down. So Vali's son Angada is one story I have picked up. And another one is Ravana's son Indrajit. So we will come to that in just a moment. The third one I picked is Janaka and Sita, the father of Sita, Janaka. So as much as Rama's role is important in the story, we have Sita's role as a very primordial character in Ramayana. So Sita's father, Janaka, obviously has played a great role in shaping Sita. And alongside, where I found a very similar parenting style was Sumitra and Lakshmana. Sumitra, the mother of actually both Lakshmana and Shatrughna. So I have highlighted that in this category. And finally, we have Dasharatha, the doting father. And we will come to that. So next slide, please. I'll go into the details now. Let's begin. This is my favorite character, Hanuman. That's why I've put it first. Just a personal choice. So Hanuman, as we all know, was born to the parents Kesari and Anjana, and he was the fruit or the result of the very porridge that was to be consumed by the three wives of Dashratha, as well as Vayuputra Hanuman is what we call him. And one of the stories also says that Hanuman is the prasad of Lord Shiva himself. So Shiva's attributes are destruction, and Hanuman aids Rama in this particular destruction aspect of killing Ravana. So that is why we relate Hanuman to Shiva. So here I wanted to tell you a couple of stories. Now one day, Hanuman, this is after they finished the whole Ravana battle. And after Rama has defeated Ravana, it was time for them to come back to Ayodhya. On the way, they stopped by. So they stopped by at Kishkinda, and Hanuman wanted to go and say a hello to his mother and probably just give her the message that he is going to go and relocate to Ayodhya and stay there for a long time. So Anjana is very happy. Now Hanuman, being Hanuman, he's a monkey after all, and he's very naughty. So, and we also understand that Hanuman has the Ashtasiddhis. So Hanuman transforms himself into a little boy and goes and cuddles his mother, and he starts talking to her. You know, just like your kid comes back from school and starts telling you, I did this in the school, I did that, and you know, this is what happened. So Hanuman is explaining all that to Anjana, and he says, you know, I went to Lanka and I found Sita, and I gave her the message of Rama. At this point, Anjana slaps him. Hanuman is perplexed. He doesn't understand why his mother slapped him. And being the little boy that he was, he started crying and he went into a corner sulking. So Anjana kept scolding him. Is this why I gave you my breast milk? Is this why I have raised you with all these values? You just left the lady Sita there and she was suffering for 10 months and you left her to suffer some more. You couldn't have brought her back. The breast milk that I gave you enough strength to fly on the ocean and cross the ocean. You couldn't have brought her on your shoulder. You couldn't have picked her up and brought her back to her husband. And Hanuman kept on wailing and he didn't want to answer. So looking at this scene, Rama, Lakshmana and Sita just walked by and they immediately interfered and said, Anjana Devi, you're mistaking Hanuman. It was our choice. Sita had the choice that she did not want to be carried. Hanuman did offer, but Sita didn't want to go. She wanted to wait for her husband Rama to come, break the bones and knuckles of Ravana, and only then take Sita along. So then Anjana calms down a bit and she understands that there was a greater purpose behind all of this. And then she goes and starts cuddling Hanuman, and, you know, just like the way we say sorry to our children sometimes, that it's okay, like I misunderstood you, it's okay. Please come back, and I've made your favorite jalebi, jangri. So why don't you eat it? So here, now we will draw the lesson in a bit. So Lakshmana is watching all the while. He's very surprised. What is this lady bragging about her breast milk? Every mother gives breast milk. Every mother raises a child with values. Why is this lady bragging so much? And so Anjana senses it, obviously being the lady that she is. And she calls Lakshmana. She says, looks like you have a question. Shall I answer it? And Lakshmana is following her. She takes him to a mountain and she squeezes some of her breast milk onto the mountain. And immediately the mountain breaks like a lava. There's a big eruption and the mountain is broken into pieces. Lakshmana is very surprised. Is this the power of breast milk? So Anjana says, it's not for nothing that Hanuman went all up to the sun to gobble it for breakfast, right? When he was a little boy and his mother was a little delayed in serving breakfast, Hanuman goes all the way to the sun. Have you ever wondered how a child could get such power? So here is the first parenting style of Anjana. It is the values that she's inculcated in him, as well as the breast milk symbolizes the nutrition, the feed that we give to a child physically, mentally, and spiritually. So let us understand that this is very important while raising up a child. So this is the first story. I have a little side stories for Anjana, which will also give us a bigger picture of how Anjana was. So Anjana sees this when Hanuman has come back from trying to eat the sun, 10 gods at least come to give him superpowers. So Hanuman is now full of superpowers. Now imagine our children being full of supernatural powers, being the Superman, Spider-Man, and everything else. So obviously it is going to break all hell loose. So Anjana notices that Hanuman is troubling people using his superpowers. So then she interferes and she says, enough. You've been too much of interfering and troubling kind of a child. It is time for you to go to a guru and learn wisdom. So supernatural powers are one thing, but without wisdom, it is often misused. So then she directs him to the sun god, and the Surya, being the teacher of Hanuman, teaches him Vedas and Shastras and sends him back. And a very interesting thing is the Guru Dakshina. So when Surya asks for Guru Dakshina, he says, you have to be with my son, being his friend, guarding him all the time. Now, how beautifully has Anjana and Kesari, being the parents, have accepted that their son, who was born to be probably the next king, has actually, in fact, chosen to be a servant. And they were fine. We don't see anywhere in Ramayana where these parents had any problem with that. Hanuman is still remembered as the best servant possible to either his friend Sugriva or to Rama and Lakshmana, Bharata, and Sita as well as we go on. So this is the first parenting style that I have chosen for. So these are the 3 points under the Hanuman topic. Can you go to the next slide, please? Now let us come to Angada. Now, when we see the list of the greatest warriors, in the top 5 comes Angada. And all of you might be knowing the story when Angada was sent as a messenger to Ravana's court just before the war begins. This is Rajadharma. Before the war begins, one final chance is given to the enemy. And Angada is sent. We will talk about why as well. So Angada was sent, and Angada puts his foot down and he says, if you can move my foot, let me see. Forget beating Ravana, forget Ravana beating Rama in the battle. Can you just pick my foot and show me any of your courtiers? So this is one story we all know. So let us go to the background story of Vali and Angada. So, and why I have chosen. Now we all know that Sugriva and Vali had a big fight, and Vali was defeated, obviously, and by Rama. Rama was standing behind a tree and he shot an arrow into the chest of Vali. Now Vali falls down and has 3 important questions, and it is not very relevant for this topic, but he does ask, you're the king of another land, and you killed me, and that too from behind a tree. So there is a conversation which happens, and the answers of which makes Vali realize that The purpose of Rama's birth is to establish dharma. So he is the dharma samsthapaka. He is the very authority of dharma. So he immediately calls. Now, of course, when Vali was about to die, news goes and Tara and Angada come, and they are by his side when he's dying. I think in this picture we can see that. So Vali is on the lap of Tara, his wife, and even Tara kind of blames Rama that, you've killed my husband and he's about to die. And what about my son? I have to take care of my son. And isn't it unfair? So Vali then steps up. He understands the higher wisdom behind the killing. And he calls Angada and he says, he gives the hand of Angada to Rama and he says, he is your son from today. Please accept Angada as your son. So, apart from being biological parents, Rama and Sita have been parents at different steps. Not only for Hanuman, but Angada as well. Rama accepts Angada as his son and becomes a mentor. He becomes a parent and a mentor for Angada. So this is as per the wish of Vali. Vali dies a very contented death, and he says he's given a perfect father or a father figure to his son. So here I had just mentioned a little sentence. So Vali has understood that he was the father, but in which way? Angada was the lust-born son of his body. It was just a union between him and his wife, which made him the father. But now he wants Rama to foster Angada as the son who deserves love, spiritual lessons, mentorship, and every other aspect of parenting. And through the next few days that they are together, Angada learns everything from Rama. And how does Rama teach? Rama teaches by living the life. He's not preaching something. He just lives a ideal life, looking at which Angada follows and understands a life full of dharma, how to lead a life, a fulfilling life, and being a good king in the future as well. So we all say, right, like we have to lead by example, and that's one of the best parenting styles. Whatever we do is what the children look and observe and learn more than what we preach. So this is the next part. Can we go to the next one, please? And I'll draw a parallel between Angada and the next. Yeah. So Indrajit and Meghna. So this Indrajit is also, there are two names. So for those who are probably more comfortable with Indrajit, so that's why I put both the names. Now, as I said, Ravana had an ambition. He wanted a son who was a greatest warrior and who would establish Ravana as the ultimate, authority of all the worlds. So this was an ambition that actually came in the form of son. Now, not only this, he wanted his son to be extremely knowledgeable. Now, for all that we know, Ravana is one of the most knowledgeable person. So Ravana, in fact, wanted his son to be even better in terms of the warrior, the skills of being a warrior, as well as the knowledge. Now, so much so that when Indrajit grew up, when Meghna grew up, he became such a warrior that he could defeat even Indra very easily. He took over the heavens, and he also did a great penance for Brahma. And Brahma had given him a boon of nearly immortality. So he said that you will be able to perform a yagna, and if you are able to do it successfully, then nobody will be able to kill you. And he also obtained all the astras and shastras that even we do not see all these even in Mahabharata times. So if we actually keenly observe, Ramayana had a lot of usage of weapons. So for example, Indrajit was the only one who used Brahmastra on the very first day against Rama and Lakshmana. And they were fine. They were fine, and they got back to their senses later. And Indrajit goes back again, round 2. And this time he uses Brahmandastra, the astra which is capable of annihilating the entire universe. So he uses, so that is the knowledge of Indrajit. I'm just pointing out that Indrajit had the knowledge of using the three most powerful astras, which is Brahmandastra, Pashupatastra, and Vaishnavastra. So this is the energies of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, the Trinity energies. So this was the power of Indrajit. Now that is one aspect. As a son, Indrajit could achieve all this, and he immediately realized, irrespective of using all these, Rama and Lakshmana were invincible. So he goes and then chats with his father and requests him, can you please stop this war? Can you please give Sita back? Now, this is one aspect of parenting going wrong. Now, Ravana understands that the son is more powerful, more knowledgeable, and he's giving an advice. Step back. This is going to destroy Lanka and our entire... Now, many people have told it, of course. Even Mandodari has warned. But at this juncture, when Indrajit, having used up all his weapons, warned the father, please give Sita back to Rama and please stop it right here. Ravana doesn't take it. He doesn't pay heed to this advice, and he still goes on to fight, and we all know the consequence of it. So this is the other part. Now, to draw a parallel between these two parenting, they're very similar, but the only difference was Vali surrendered to Rama. He realized the wisdom of Rama, and he wanted his son. From that point, both were ambitious. Vali was ambitious, Ravana was ambitious. But Vali gave up, and he realized that Rama has the capability to even foster his son and show a right path to him. But whereas Ravana gave the sacrifice of his son because he could not pay heed to whatever path that he had to take up. So I hope this is clear why I put Vali and Angada in one bucket. Okay, so it's just my opinion. We can absolutely go about it at the end. We can do some discussion over it. Can we do the next slide, please? Okay, so now this is one favorite topic for all the women. All the girls who read Ramayana are very attracted to the character of Sita, and all the women as well want their daughters especially to be grown up in this fashion. A very beautiful story of Janaka raising, he adopts the girl, in fact. He adopts Sita, as we all know, but never lets her know that she's an adopted daughter. And we have seen at various instances how Janaka even gives education to Sita. Now, there are many sources for this. I do not even know which sources are, which have to be followed. I am not very sure about it. But from whatever I have collected, we see that Janaka is Rajarishi. This is something that we all know. Janaka was the wisest of the kings. And in fact, he even gave lessons to sages and other people. He had the great Ashtavakra as his tutor. So Janaka, the style of parenting that Janaka had was wonderful. He looked only upon the soul, but not the gender of the child. So this is one thing that we all understand. Now, for the kind of person that Janaka is, it is not so hard anyway. So Janaka was a realized soul, and Janaka raised all the people, not just his daughters, all the people in his kingdom were equals for him. So when Sita looked at the way Janaka did the proceedings of the court, Janaka used to have the annual proceedings of the scholarly debates, and Yagnavalka himself told Janaka that you're a very ideal kind of king. And there were women scholars who participated, including Yagnavalka's wife and Gargi Rishi. So there were arguments between the men and women scholars, and Sita was raised looking at these kind of debates and philosophical discussions. So when Sita asked, can she go and also study in a Gurukul, we hear from some sources that Janaka actually agreed and sent her because she's keen on learning. So anybody who's keen on learning should get that knowledge or education. So this is the upbringing of Sita. Now, at one instance, we see that Sita lifts the bow very easily to get her ball out. This is one popular story that we hear. At that time, Janaka makes a decision or a vow that whoever can pick this bow can marry my daughter. Now, for a very long time, nobody was able to pick that. So to a point that the very wise Janaka also started getting worried. He started to get worried. If nobody can lift this bow, will my daughter remain unmarried? Now, this is something even today's generation parents can't take it. A daughter being unmarried specifically. Think of the times of those days, of Ramayana days, where there was this this kind of a position that Janaka was wondering, can I even get my daughter married? Will there be even a single person who would live? But he put all his fears aside and he said, let's see what happens. I will go by what is destined for my daughter. If she doesn't find the right person, I'm not going to get her married. So that was a firm decision that he had made. I mean, I wouldn't say that he did not get married. He probably had a sense that this is Lakshmi and there will be Vishnu's incarnation. But at one point, like all human beings do, we also lose hope and we think that probably there is nobody who can lift the bow. So anyway, so this is one thing that I thought about the marriage. Education is something we discussed. Sita goes and studies under Gargi, and she lives the Gurukul life, which was only exclusively meant for boys during one part of our Vedic civilization. And Janaka's daughters had the luxury of going and studying in the schools. And here is when Sita finds out that Janaka is her adopted father. So I have just put a brief mention of adoption. It actually doesn't even matter. So Gargi tells Sita that irrespective of that, he's giving you the father love and the parenting lessons that he's supposed to give you. So you're the daughter of the earth. We all are the children of this earth. So isn't that sufficient? And Sita gets her answers. So she never really bothers about whether she's adopted or biological and the other details, the unnecessary details, in fact. Can we go to the next one, please? We also have the style of Sita in a bit, but before that, the very important Dasharatha. Now we see Dasharatha is a great king. Where did he fail in the parenting style, in fact? So there were many aspects of Dasharatha, the heroism and the bravery and the skills and the king that he was. And Ayodhya was not an ordinary city. Ayodhya was the impenetrable city. Even the water of Ayodhya tasted like sugarcane juice. If you read Valmiki Ramayana, there is a description of the city of Ayodhya. Multi-storied buildings, the wide roads, and even the impenetrable forts, and finally, the happy families that the city of Ayodhya had. Each family was educated, happy, and fulfilled, a contented family. Now, such a king was Janaka. He was a wonder. See, king is a father as well to the subjects. Okay, it's not just about biological father. We see that the king is also a father to his subjects. So this is a fine example of being a king and a father. Now here, when Rama was born, now unfortunately there was a curse which was a backstory for this. And apart from that, it is also the old age and the very late arrival of the 4 children of Janaka. So one of the picture, of course, we have is Janaka cuddling the 4 little babies. He was a doting father. Now, what's wrong with being a doting father is this. When the little children grew up for a school-going age, the preceptor for them being Vasishta had to take them for the Gurukul. Now, we see that parents drop the children at the Gurukul, at the door of Gurukul. So parents drop the children at the steps of Gurukul and only pick them after the education is fulfilled. A guru takes the responsibility of educating them and making them fit citizens for the society. And that is when the parents come and pick. Until then, the parents do not see the children. Now, here is a very strange situation where where Dasharatha follows. Even Janaka hasn't done it to his daughters. Now, Dasharatha follows the 4 children and wants to stay around the ashram and checking on him. Vasishta keeps warning, please get back. Please allow me to give them the education that every prince gets in his lifetime. So it is not just a very offbeat thing here. Every prince goes through this process, right? Now that is the nature of Dasharatha that we can see in this bit. Not to compare with Janaka, but that's very characteristic feature of Dasharatha here. Okay, so the next step is after they come back from school, we all know that Vishwamitra comes and asks for sending the 2 boys for a little while. Now Vishwamitra is a sage. He's a Brahma Rishi. He knows Bhuta, Bhavishyat, Vartaman, right? He knows the past, present and future. So Brahma Rishis are those who are same as Brahma, who are the creators themselves, who are as powerful as the creator himself. So as a Brahma Rishi, Vishwamitra has known ahead that Rama and Lakshmana have a mission. They have to go to the forest. They have to live some years and then fight Ravana, gather, kind of friends on the way. And Dushta Sikshana is also something that Rama does, that we can see in Aranyakanda at some other lecture. So having known this, Vishwamitra asks the father, can you please help me? There are these demons who are pouring all the blood and bones and garbage into my yagna. I am doing a moksha kamishti yagna and they are disturbing me. Dasharatha says, of course, I am going to help you. I'll bring my entire Ayodhya army. No. Vishwamitra says, no, I asked only for your 2 boys. And we all know that Dasharatha literally cries and he requests that please, they're just all but 14-year-olds. How can they go into the forest? Now Vasishta comes. Thanks to Vasishta that this actually happened as per the plan. Vasishta says, I know Vishwamitra. He is going to give much better training and education. Don't stop. And, I'm giving the guarantee, nothing will happen. But Vishwamitra himself will save. If there is any trouble that could befall, there is Vishwamitra himself. But still, Dasharatha cannot let go. So the not letting go part is one of the parenting styles, as we all know, right? So then finally, Vishwamitra takes the 2 boys. There is actually a high voltage drama here. It's absolutely impossible for this man to let go of his 2 sons, but it does happen. Okay, so here in Upanishads, we have the Eshnas, the Putreshna, the Vitteshna, and the Praneshna, the Jiveshna, it's called. So the fear of Eshna is a strong desire. And you have a strong desire for wealth. You could have a strong desire to your son, Putreshna, according to Upanishad. It could be your children as well. Let's make it gender biased, gender free. The other one is Putreshna, Vitteshna is the money, and Prana or the Jiveshna, the strong desire for the life. You're very scared of death because you have such a strong desire in the life, in living. We see some people, right? So Dasharatha unfortunately suffers with this Putreshna. He cannot let go of his son. But see the wonderful result of actually letting go. When they finally did go, Rama and Lakshmana go. The very first day, Vishwamitra gives them Bala Atibala mantras, using which they can go without sleep, without food, and in fact, the very first night that they sleep, they are so peacefully sleeping that Vishwamitra had to wake them up. Kaushalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narasar Dhula kartavyam daivamanyikam. Narsardula, the tiger among men. So wake up. It's time for your duty. And he does it in a very loving way. Kausalya Supraja. So with love, he's also teaching what is your duty and how to scale up to your duties. So if the father did not let go, these lessons would not have come to Rama and Lakshmana, which was very important for their further years of life. So this is the one, and I understand that we will have to take a few questions. So let me do just two more. I'll just touch upon these two. Can you play the next slide? It is just a bonus slide. So this is the mother of Rama, Kaikeyi. Now again, we have to understand that a lady like Kaikeyi, why would she perform a task like that of sending Rama away? There are multiple versions that more than me, people like Guru Garu will be able to explain. From whatever I have just gathered, out of my research, there are at least two stories. One is Kaikeyi's father himself being an astrologer. Kaikeyi's father could see the future and told Kaikeyi ahead, you're going to marry this person, Dasharatha, and he's going to have an incarnation. So keep observing who is the favorite son and send him away, because he has a larger purpose in his life to fulfill. So this is one of the stories. So that is why Kaikeyi becomes a villain in the story and sends Rama and Lakshmana. See, only when we have adversities in life, we scale up and become the human being or the supreme person that we are supposed to be living for. So our purpose of life has to be fulfilled only with this transformational journey. So that is one of the things. And there is another popular story where she heard the language of the birds and she understood that this is not the time for crowning Rama. So this is not the time yet. Again, there is a little proof for this. We also see Kaikeyi's father having that capability to understand. Even in our Puranas and Itihasas, we have seen a few people, even if you know the story of Brahmadatta, there are people who can understand the language of birds and other animals. And we all know that animals and birds have super senses. So they could see what was coming, or the frequencies are different for them. So this is one way. So I'm just requesting, let us relook at Kaikeyi's character in another sense also. So it is all about opening up new perspectives and understanding rather than misunderstanding a few characters. So apart from this, the final note on Sita as a mother, and I'll end it with that. I haven't put any picture, but you all have a picture in mind of Lava and Kusha, right? So Sita being the mother that she is for Lava and Kusha. So now we see that she's brought up as a single mother. She raised these two children very wonderfully. Now, what is so great about this parenting is this. She's never blamed her husband Rama for anything. She's never complained about anything. And the children are raised to equally respect everybody else. And when they are reunited finally with their father, they accept wholeheartedly. So I think this is one wonderful parenting lesson that we can get from Sita, irrespective of the circumstances in life. She has raised in a way that Rama and Lava and Kusha could treat Rama with respect. And she gave them a right perspective, I would say. So this is one of the things that, because they were too young to understand what actually happened, why she had to go far away, and the rest of their childhood, In fact, there was no troubles or traumas, but they were away from a father figure. But it is wonderfully, actually woven. The story is wonderfully woven. So this is it about the parenting styles. We can discuss further. Maybe in that we could. I'm probably one of the youngest parent here. You're all much more older. Hi, I see some children. Okay. So there are a few children also, but I see many parents who have learned many lessons. I have two children, 9 and 3. Every day I learn a parenting lesson. And so, yes, one thing is, let's please trust our children have wisdom. They are here to teach us something. Their souls are possibly older souls than us, and they are here to teach us a lesson. We've had a contract with our children much before they're born, because we have to learn something from them. And very superficially, they also learn something from us. So let us remember that and trust in the wisdom of the child. So Hanuman's story being the perfect example for that. Thank you so much. And please excuse me if I have said something wrong or something that hurted any of your sentiments. Ramayana is something that we have raised, we've been raised upon. It was the diet for us in our childhood days. So there are many opinions, there are many versions of the stories. I don't want to hurt anybody's sentiments. So if you want, we can probably take up some questions or discussions, rather. I would probably call them discussions more than question and answers.
Thank you so much, Andi. Swapna Garu, completely appreciate your presentation. It was very well done, Andi. Guru Garu, మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారండి.
నాకు చాలా సంతోషంగా స్వప్న గారు మంచి విచారాన్ని అందించారు. మన వారికి చాలా మంది ఈ గ్రూప్ లో ఉండే వాళ్ళందరూ రామాయణం చదువుతున్నారు. రామాయణం చదువుడు గుర్తయితే దాంట్లో ఉండేది చూసింగ్ బెస్ట్ అమాంగ్ దట్ అండ్ ప్రజెంటింగ్ లైక్ దిస్ చాలా చక్కగా మంచి విచారాన్ని మాకు అందించారు ఈరోజు. పరిపూర్ణంగా భద్రాద్రి సీతారాముల రక్ష ఎప్పుడు మీకు ఉండాలి. కార్యక్రమాలు చాలా అవసరమైనది ప్రజెంట్ జనరేషన్స్ అందరూ. దీని తత్వం తర్వాత ఈ రామాయణంలో ఉండేటువంటి మంచి విచారాలను మనం కలుసుకొని దాన్ని మన ఇప్పుడు ఉపయోగించాలి. చాలా మంచి విచారమ్మా. సో ఎక్సలెంట్ గా చెప్పారమ్మా, చాలా అద్భుతంగా చెప్పారు, చాలా మంచిగా ప్రజెంట్ చేశారమ్మా.
Thank you. I'm honored. నేను మామూలుగా తోచిందే చెప్పాను. I'm honored. Thank you so much.
చాలా సంతోషమ్మా. ఓం సుమంగళీర్యం మధురిమాగం తవేత పశ్యత సౌభాగ్యమత్తై దత్తా జాతా సంమితరేతనాం శతమానం ప్రతిజతా యఃపురుష శతేంద్రియః యుష్యేవేంద్రికే ప్రతితిష్టతి. మంగళీపుతాం కుమార్ కుమార్ సద్విద్యా సద్బుద్ధి సద్ఉద్యోగ సత్కళ్యాణ ప్రాప్తిరస్తు. మాతాపితృ ఆరోగ్యాభివృద్ధిరస్తు. అనగోతం పత్యోః ఆచంద్రార్కం వంశాభివృద్ధిరస్తు. భద్రాచరాస్తి సీతారామచంద్ర స్వామి పరిపూర్ణ కృపాకటాక్షదిరస్తు. జై శ్రీరామ్.
Thank you, Guru Garu. Any other discussions, questions, any comments? Jai Shri Ram and Adnarayan Garu, please go ahead.
Yes, Sri Ramandi. I don't have any question, but just a comment on Swapna Garu's presentation. It needs a lot of observation while studying Ramayana, not only as a reading like a character, but going beyond the character and understanding what the parents are teaching their children and that kind of thing. So I want to commend you for your observation skills and whatever you gathered with respect to the how to bring up children, and then draw parallels among different characters of Ramayana and put them in contrast with each other or compare with each other and draw lessons out of that for people to follow. So I just want to commend you on that one. Great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we have a comment, Andi, from Padma Garu. Padma Garu is a Seva volunteer. She was also one of our Athithi speaker. This is what she sent to me. She said she's been listening. Inka unnar kani maatladaleru right now.
Okay.
Can you please thank Swapna Garu on my behalf, Andi? And then it's in quotes. One who truly understands the tattva behind can only truly understand why these characters act a certain way. So I'm very happy and thank you for your research and your discerning capacity. Dasoham. So this is from
Thank you.
Padma
Praise
Garu.
the Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to add a few more, but I was mindful of the timing as well. And I also understood that there are some technical glitches. So I cut short Sumitra as well. I understand that all of you can probably like relate it and further understand even those characters. I've only touched upon the main ones. There are many wonderful smaller characters that we don't often talk, but that's actually a base for Ramayana being such a successful story or such a valuable lesson for us. So please do observe those minor characters also. Just due to lack of time, I haven't discussed, but Sumitra is actually the wisest lady ever. If we consider Ramayana as for a character analysis, you must touch upon Sumitra as well. So since you talked about discerning capability, I thought of Sumitra, and unfortunately, because of lack of time, I could not touch upon. Please do reflect on such characters as well and open up new perspectives. I always tell this to children. In my book, it is this way. Yeah, your book may be that way. There are hundreds of versions and our stories are allegorical. It's just one way, but as we go deeper and deeper, there are layers and we have to correct ourselves also. So what I probably told today, tomorrow I may actually find a mistake. So that's why I'm humbly requesting. This is just an opinion and we could further go deeper. Any more, please? If anybody has anything else, I would explain actually.
Yeah. Shirin garu మీరు చేయలేపినట్టున్నారు.
నాకు జస్ట్ అంటే క్వశ్చన్ ఏం కాదండి, బట్ ఐ రియల్లీ అప్రిషియేట్ ద వే స్వప్న గారు హ్యాస్ ప్రెజెంటెడ్ అండి, అండ్ ఎస్పెషల్లీ ద లాస్ట్ సెంటెన్స్ స్వప్న గారు స్పోక్, ఇట్ ఈస్ రియల్లీ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ మదర్, అండ్ ఐ ఆల్సో స్ట్రగుల్ వెన్ టు లీవ్ ఇట్. ఐ మీన్ వదిలేయాలి, ఎప్పుడు పట్టుకోవాలి, ఎప్పుడు వదిలేయాలి అనే పాయింట్ మీద ఐ ఆల్సో స్ట్రగుల్ ఎ లాట్, బట్ యా, వెరీ బ్యూటిఫుల్లీ ప్రెజెంటెడ్ అండ్ ఐ రియల్లీ లైక్ యువర్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్. అండ్ I will the last sentence you said, that kids also born to teach us something. We should learn. Everybody is a learner. I really like that point, Andy. And yeah, I hope I can hear you from you more, Andy. But really nice. Thank you, Andy.
1 second, I'll just add something. See, we often hear this that you have hyperactive children and things like that, right? So Shirin Garu, like I'm empathizing. I understand what you mean. So there are often these things that we really cannot handle. So somebody once told me, just like a lady, how much of a labor pain you can take, you will get, right? In your delivery pain, yes, for all the men that are around here, delivery pain is the highest of the pains. So which you, even if I try to explain, you will not be able to empathize. So it is the highest of the pains. But even that, it will not be beyond the point that we can't take it. So if we can relate that to parenting, it's very difficult. Parenting is extremely difficult. And there are days probably like some of the mothers or even fathers go and cry. So we don't know what to do, right? In some situation. Now that is when we have to realize no child will test you further. That is because of your capability that you have a child like that. Be it a very hyperactive child or a very special ability child, whichever ways. And please, even hyperactive children and smart children are tougher to raise, even more than a disabled child. So it is very difficult. And whenever there are challenges like this, just understand that because you have the capability, because you have the patience, you've got a child like that. So this is one lesson that I remind myself. So when Shirin, when you said this, I just remembered that aspect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
I hope we can connect on that. Yeah. Okay. Any more?
Yes, Andy. We have some more hands here.
Yes, Andy. Swapna Garu, thanks a lot, Andy. You took us to our childhood. It was really interesting. So I have one, question for you. See, as far as Rama, was concerned, when he was a child or a kid, was he a normal kid or was he remembering himself as a god?
No, he was just a very normal kid. And there's a little story also that I don't know about your time constraints. I could tell. So just a very small story. I'll just tell you so that you can go further into the story in another perspective. So once when Rama and Lakshmana were taking lessons from Vasishta, this was their school days, no father and no father around to watch. And Vasishta had gone for some errands. He probably went out to get groceries. So Rama, Lakshmana were by themselves. And they were just watching the passers-by. There was this lady who was walking with a pot on her head, and she had an unusually big nose ring. Okay. So Rama and Lakshmana found it very funny. What kind of nose ring is this woman wearing? I mean, even if it was style, it really looks awkward. It was literally as big as a hula hoop. There are some children here, right? So probably for them. You know a hula hoop, don't you? All of you. So she was wearing a nose ring as big as hula hoop. So Lakshmana said, Rama, what is this? I think we should just fix this. So they had just learned bow and arrow. See, archery was one of the greatest vidyas in that time. So they could do anything with bow and arrow. So Rama and Lakshmana put an arrow and they shrink the nose ring. So the nose ring starts shrinking. But they've just learned it. So they don't know how and when to stop. So the nose ring started becoming so small that it actually closed her nostril. And this lady threw her pot and she was completely, she was panicking and she started crying for help. That is when Vasishta also comes back and he reprimands Rama Lakshmana. Immediately they take another one and enlarge it. So the nose ring comes back to a good size. Okay. Probably the size of my bangle or something. So it comes back to that size and then she's able to breathe. And so they did such things also. Rama was just an ordinary child, I think, according to what I have read.
Thanks, Sunny.
But he had exemplary virtues. So that is, of course, also that's something we have to remember. The virtues were the empathy, the kindness that he showed for his brothers. And he was very wise to the point that when Vasishta gave him the lessons, Rama wanted to renunciate everything and go. But then Vasishta also told him, no, you have a duty to perform, so stay back. So we do know that also, right? Vasishta Gita. Okay, sorry, next one.
Yeah, Mahesh Garu.
Jai Shri Ram Swapna Garu. Thank you very much for presentation, Andy. So as Guru Garu said, we read Ramayana and we learn about Ramayana. This is the second time we are reading Ramayana. So the way you have, did the comparison between Angada and Indrajit. So while we were learning or reading, we couldn't, connect the dots, how they were raised and, what are the comparisons between the way you have expressed and explained. Now we can, connect the dots between, how they were raised and what are the differences and similarities between, different characters. And, when you are explaining, my son was also sitting next to me and he was saying, oh, Daddy, this was from the 23rd Sarga that, she was saying the Prabhatam and all this, right? So he was also very much excited to, listen. So the way you have presented and the knowledge you have on the subject and the command is very inspiring. Thank you for the great presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And that is a very nice context to give to children when we do the Suprabhatam. Please, whenever you're teaching shlokas or bhajans to children, give them the essence. It is going to go a very long way. When I was 10 years old, I learned Bhagavad Gita and many shlokas. Hanuman Chalisa, Aditya. I really like reciting everything, but there was nobody who could tell me what was the meaning of it. So that is what I do now. I try to tell that when the child gets the essence, they automatically like to recite, they memorize, and it goes for their whole life. So please do explain the context also. Thank you.
ఇంకా ఎవరన్నా ఉన్నారండి? Anyone else has anything to say? Rao garu.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి, జగీష గారు. సో స్వప్న గారు చాలా అద్భుతంగా ఇవాళ టాపిక్స్ కవర్ చేశారండి. జస్ట్ నౌ యాజ్ మహేష్ గారు మెన్షన్, కనెక్టింగ్ ద డాట్స్ ఈజ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఆస్పెక్ట్. అండ్ సెకండ్ థింగ్ ఈజ్, గురుగారు ఎప్పుడూ చెప్తూనే ఉంటారు, ఫస్ట్ టైం రామాయణం చదువుతున్నప్పుడు కొంతవరకు మనకి ఏమీ అర్థం అవనట్టు ఉంటుంది, Vinaga, it will become more sweeter. So that's why all the participants who are on the call today, they all got excited about saying that, oh, Swapna garu cheppedi akkada chadivanu nenu, oh, Swapna garu cheppedi ikkada vinnanu nenu, alagani. So as we listen more and more, we get the sweetness or the deep knowledge behind each and every character. So it was a kind of reminder, and all people getting connected to the conversation is one of the blessed things. That is the most important goal of this Kalpavriksham. So Kalpavriksham, the name itself will say that give whatever the devotee wants through this program. So you have taken the wonderful opportunity today with the blessings of Guru Garu of sharing your knowledge with everyone, and all people who have joined on this call so far and watching this program on website. They all might have benefited of learning some points and always connecting it back to the Ramayana. Really enjoyed your presentation, Andy. Thanks for taking the time today, coming and giving this valuable information to everyone. And for those who are on the call, if someone thinks that they missed this one, this will be available on there is a page called Lord's Darshanam. So under Kalpavriksham session, there will be this recording session will be available for again replay. And so those who missed to join the call, they can always view it later on the website www.jayshiram.org. Chala santosham and Jigisha Garu for coordinating this call today. With that, I think we can go ahead and do the closing prayers with Guru Garu blessings.
Sure, Andy Rao Garu. I'll take a quick opportunity to thank Swapna Garu and provide my own little Andy. You're an excellent storyteller, Andy. I mean, these are small stories, but enta chakkaga, enta captivating ga cheppinarante. నేను కూడా యాక్చువల్లీ ఐఎమ్ రామపారాయణం ఇంగ్లీష్ లో చేసే రామపారాయణం స్టూడెంట్. ఐఎమ్ ద ఓన్లీ అడల్ట్ స్టూడెంట్ దేర్. అందరు పిల్లలే, నేను ఒక్కతే ఓల్డర్ పేరెంట్. మై కిడ్స్ ఆల్సో ఆస్క్డ్, ఎందుకు మమ్మీ వై ఆర్ యూ దేర్ అంటే, నాకు వస్తే నేను మీకు కూడా చెప్తాను కదా అని చెప్పినాను. బట్ today when you said they are old souls and you have more to learn from the children, ఎంత కరెక్ట్ గా చెప్పినారంటే అండి, ఇట్స్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్ ఫర్ పేరెంట్స్ టు థింక్ దట్ చిల్డ్రన్ కెన్ టీచ్. అట్లాంటిది టుడే ఎవ్రీథింగ్ యూ టోల్డ్ రియలీ బ్రింగ్స్ దట్ పాయింట్. సో రియలీ అప్రిషియేట్ ద టాపిక్, ద వే యూ హ్యావ్ ప్రెజెంటెడ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ వాజ్ వండర్ఫుల్ అండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి స్వప్న గారు.
Thank you so much. I'm not a very knowledgeable person. I would only say that all the knowledge or whatever perspectives I got is by teaching children. So every time I teach, I have done at least 9 batches of Mahabharata and probably 7 batches of Ramayana so far. Every time I teach a set of children, I learn something. So it is definitely that way also, not just my own children, but I learn from all the children. They teach a lot more. They have very fine sense of understanding and discerning. So we have to trust the wisdom of the children. Again, I reiterate. So yeah, thank you so much. And I really like, Jigisha, that you wanted to learn, that yearning for learning should never die. That's very wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Guru Garu.
Yeah, చాలా సంతోషమ్మా. సో కన్క్లూజన్ చేసిద్దాం. ఓం స్వస్తి ప్రజాపతిపాలయంతాం న్యాయేన మార్గేణ మహీం మహీషాః గోబ్రాహ్మణేభ్యః శుభమస్తు నిత్యం. లోకాః సమస్తాః సుఖినో భవంతు. సర్వే జనాః సుఖినో భవంతు. సమస్త సన్మంగళాని భవంతు. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. జై బోలో శ్రీ సీతా రామచంద్ర భగవాన్ की జై. పవన సుత హనుమాన్ की జై. మంచిదండి అందరికీ. జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి గురువు.
జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్.